Hello there, beautiful souls. How are all my beautiful soul family doing this evening, this late evening? Well, over here in California, it's not that late. It's 9:38. But in the East Coast, I know it's 12:38, almost 1 a.m. over there. So it could be pretty late depending on what time zone you're in. Hello there, Shauna. Hi there, Melika. Hello there, Bear Light. Greetings to you, Oyonique. How is my soul family doing tonight? Hello there, Ashley Nett. Mi hermana bella, Kathy Hernandez in the house. Kathy Hernandez in the house. Miss Becky is in the house too. Me Blue is in the house. Awesome, my soul family. Hi there, Jazzy. Arellano's in the house. Nini is in the house. Luna llena de Maya. Bendiciones para ti también. My beloved goddaughter Amber is in the house, I see. Miss Reina Bella is in the house. Awesomeness. Very quickly. Very quickly. I hope it's quickly. It's late. And I should be getting ready for bed soon. I dislike using the word hate. But listen, I'm human. I'm not perfect. I hate going to bed early. I am a night owl. But since my black ass got to get up nowadays at 5 a.m. so that my ass can go get kicked at this intense training that I'm doing, I need to be unwinding. Anyway, but I did not want to call it a night before sharing with you this message that I have for you. And it's called, I entitled it, You Accept the Unconfirmed. Hear me out. Bear with me. Bear with me for a little bit. Just bear with me. Spirit says, you accept the unconfirmed. Spirit says to me, we would be able to avoid much suffering if we were to stop accepting the unconfirmed. Spirit says that we would be able to avoid much suffering if we were to avoid and if we were to stop accepting the unconfirmed. Bear with me. Bear with me. Are you feeling it already? Are you feeling it already? Spirit said to me, people would be able to avoid much suffering. I got to repeat this again. I got to repeat it again. I got to repeat it again and again and again until it just sinks in your mind. Okay, let me give you a little background. I was taking a moment to cleanse my spiritual altar. And as I was cleansing my spiritual altar and washing my glasses and blah, 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 that's usually also another moment where I get a lot of downloads. And in the process of me washing my spiritual altar glasses and what have you, boom, that hit me. I'm like, whoa. And then I started, of course, if I got a message, that I'm going to go into it and study it in my head and try to get more downloads. And I light my cigar and and that's how I am able now. This was earlier, but now I'm like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to go live. I'm going to go live and share this for a minute for whomever needs to hear it. As you always hear me say, like a broken record, every message is not for everybody. So if this doesn't mean shit to you, listen. Amen. Mondupue. Ashe, it doesn't have to. But I am hoping that whomever needs to hear this message tonight, may it be laid in your heart in a way where you're able to see yourself and your life differently. So let me repeat myself. The title of this message is You Accept the Unconfirmed. ¿Verdad? And I entitled this message that because Spirit said, as I was washing my glasses, my spiritual altar glasses earlier and setting my spiritual altar up for the week, Spirit said people would be able to avoid much suffering if they were to stop accepting the unconfirmed. Let me know if that's starting to do something in you, just by I haven't said anything yet. At least none of what the downloads I received based on that message, I haven't shared that with you yet. But let me know if you're starting to kind of sort of feel where this could be going to. How am I? God, I can't believe there's 666 people. It's late at night. You all, buenas noches, mi hermana del alma, mi paisana linda. We accept the unconfirmed. And because, hello there, props to God. And because we accept the unconfirmed, we endure and we go through so much sufferings in our life because we tend to accept the unconfirmed. Now, let me try to break this down to you as quickly as possible. It's late for a lot of you all. Need to wake up early for tomorrow. So definitely, I don't want to keep you here too long. And I need to start unwinding so I'm able to get up early. We accept the unconfirmed, Spirit says. You know, some of you are living your life. Some of you are living your life in a way where you will encounter and get yourself into some really aggravated situations, and you will go into, build these soul ties. You're on your way to a soul tie without even knowing you're on your way to a soul tie. Why? Because you let your emotions and your feelings accept the unconfirmed. Let me break this down. You accept the unconfirmed when you build a story in your mind about someone else. How you think they are, how you believe them to be, how you feel they will be, and yet you have absolutely nothing that can prove that what you think of that particular person is right. You have no foundation, no basis to believe that what you think of that particular person is right. Why? Because it's not confirmed. So me being the Virgo ass that I am, I like to be nitpicky. When we look at the word, o sea, you accept the unconfirmed, coming from the word confirm, confirmation, right? If you look at the word confirmation, when I looked up that word in the dictionary, it said something to the effect of the process of proving or the process of supporting a statement based on evidence. That's what confirmation is. It's the process of supporting a statement based on evidence or by evidence. It was something to that effect. That's the definition in the books, in the dictionary of confirmation. Are you following me? Confirmation, according to the dictionary, means the process of supporting a statement based on evidence or by evidence, which means that in order for me to confirm something, I need some evidence. I need something that proves it to be true in order for me to confirm it, in order for me to attest to it, in order for me to say that it's true, in order for me to say that it's a fact, in order for me to embrace that, there needs to be, a confirmation. Let's break this down. That's why I entitled this message, You Accept the Unconfirmed. And I was cleaning my spiritual altar today. Spirit said people would avoid a lot of sufferings if they were to stop accepting the unconfirmed. I said, coño, people would avoid a lot of suffering if they were to stop accepting the unconfirmed. That did a number on me in my head. So, of course, I know, we hear words and we kind of know what they mean. But no, I went to the dictionary, and when I look at the word confirmation, it said that it is, it gives many different definitions, because confirmation also has a religious, spiritual definition. But we're not here talking about religion. We're talking about different experiences of our life. So when you look at the dictionary definition of the word confirmation, it is the process of supporting a statement or a situation based on evidence. So if that's the definition of confirmation, and Spirit says that people would avoid a lot of sufferings in their life if they were to stop accepting the unconfirmed, then it also means that we accept the unconfirmed by assuming that a person, it means that we go through a process of assuming, follow me, that a person will be what you think he or she will be. You go through a process of assuming that a person will be, future tense, will be what you believe he or she will be, or what you think, get ready for this one, or what you think you will turn that person into. So you have no confirmation that this person, normally these messages may seem like it's exclusive to romantic relationships, marriages, boyfriend, girlfriend, but it's not. It's in every aspect of our life, right? It can be applicable in our professional life. It can be applicable in our friendships. It can be even applicable in our family dynamics, etc. But for the most part, people definitely dealing with lovers, significant other, potential boyfriend, potential girlfriend, potential husband, wife, etc. It applies a lot to that, right? So we accept the unconfirmed by assuming that he or she will be what we think they will be. But we have no confirmation of that. You hear me? Are you following me? We have no confirmation of that. So the assumption that that particular person that you just met last week will be what you think he or she will be can put you in a place of danger, because then you become vulnerable. Bear with me. I want to share all these messages that I got today, so bear with me for a little bit. We go through this process by which we turn off. Listen to me carefully. This message is for you. We go through a process by which we turn off our reasoning, and we put our emotions in place of our reasoning. And that is when we set ourselves up for failure, because something that is yet to be confirmed, we stand by it as if it was such already, when in reality, it is not. So it means that we make up a story in our mind. We create an ideal vision of what we would like that situation, that relationship, that encounter, that bond to be, whether it's romantic, relationship, friendship, family dynamics. But then yet, there's nothing to confirm, which means we don't have evidence, right? If we look at the definition of confirmation, the non-religious definition of confirmation, it means that we don't have any evidence that can attest that that person will be what we believe he or she will be. Okay? So therefore, we must be cautious in choosing our friends, our potential romantic partners, and we have to also be cautious how we continue to be in relationship with our family, because we don't choose our family. Extended family we choose, but we don't choose our family. Our blood family, we don't choose it, right? We were born to a particular mother and a particular father that makes us related to the families of both sides. We didn't choose that, technically, because we did. That's a whole different ballgame. So therefore, we must be cautious in how we fall into a relationship, whether it's romantic, platonic, professional, and we must be cautious how we continue and choose to continue to be in relationship with certain family members. Because a lot of the times we go by our emotions, our feelings, and our feelings are not confirmed because we don't have the evidence that demonstrates, that shows that that person is trustworthy, that that person is safe for us to open ourselves up and be exposed. This is about exposure. This is about exposure. This is about early exposure to people that are yet to confirm, that are yet to show evidence that they are trustworthy. Let's go back to the original message. The original message is that we could stop, if we were to stop assuming, basically, and if we were to stop accepting the unconfirmed, we would avoid a lot of sufferings in our life. A lot. We would avoid a lot of sufferings in our life. Hear me out. In the absence, listen to another message that came through. Everything related to this particular topic. In the absence of the right questions. Ay, Dios mío. In the absence of the right questions. Hear me out. In the absence of the right questions, we assume the person will be what we need them to be. Did you hear that? In the absence of the right questions, we then assume that a person will be what we need them to be. It means that you can go out on a date with someone that you met, that you felt a connection with. You felt the butterflies in your stomach. And then you go out into this date and, you have a lot of fun and he or she makes you laugh, or, you're so emotional, and everything. Oh, he's so sweet and he's so nice and oh my God, and she makes me feel so good. You don't know this person. And not only do you not know this person, you didn't even take the time to ask the right questions. And Spirit says that in the absence of asking the right questions, we then assume that that person will become or will be what we need them to be. But if we were to ask the right questions, okay? If we were to ask the right questions, all these bubbles and all these butterflies and in the stomach and all these, exactly, infatuation, all this, it would quickly go out the window. It would quickly go out the window. Are you all following me thus far? Are you following me? Let me know in the chat if you are following me, because I was not going to go to bed before delivering this message today. Let me know if you're following me. Spirit says, based on the topic of this live, it says that we accept the unconfirmed. For those of you joining right now. And when we look at the definition of confirmation, the non-religious definition of confirmation, confirmation means the ability or the process of supporting a statement or an event or supporting a situation based on evidence. It means that the evidence, okay, births the confirmation or gives way for there to be confirmation over someone or something. But we tend to, through our emotional self, we tend to accept what hasn't even been confirmed. And that in itself allows us to encounter situations that brings about a lot of heartaches, sufferings, losses in our life. Because we accept the unconfirmed. Does that make sense to you, my soul family? I hope it does. Furthermore, Spirit said, or just like this, I think. Spirit says that in the absence of asking the right questions, we then assume, whether we do this consciously or subconsciously, we assume that that particular person will be or is who we need them to be. It means that I like you, even though I have no confirmation. I like you and I feel connected to you, and you're so sexy and you're so beautiful, and he's so handsome and he's so this and he oh my God, he's so funny and he's so humorous and he's so this and he's so that. But in the absence of the right questions, I then assume by these, by these weak signals that you will be or are who I need you to be. But we don't ask the right questions. We don't ask the questions that allows us to be in a safe zone. We don't ask the right questions that allows us to put our guard up and be like, I cannot go any further here, because yes, you're cute, yes, you're sexy, yes, you're intelligent, yes, you're humorous, yes, you're funny, but you are not equipped with what I need for my life. So if we were to stop accepting, okay, the unconfirmed, we would avoid a lot of sufferings and pains and aches in our life. So number one, if I could even consider it to be number one, when we don't ask the right questions, ladies and gentlemen, when we fail to ask the right questions, okay, we then ignore the visible signs. Keep notes. When we fail to ask the right questions, we then ignore the right signs. The signs are right there, but we have a blindfold on. Our peripheral view is blocked because our discernment is turned off. Questioning things is what I need you to understand from this point number one. Questioning things. Questioning it, there's so many different ways to look at this too, right? But questioning things from a safe place, allows our discernment to be on. And when our ability to discern is turned on, then we avoid wrong exits. We avoid getting off at the wrong exit. We avoid being able to make the wrong stop. We avoid letting someone in to our home too soon. We avoid getting married with someone that it will end up being chaotic. We avoid giving birth to somebody that was never meant to be a real father. We would avoid opening our heart to people that later on, all they were interested in is in sucking us dry and then end up backstabbing us. We would avoid telling too much too soon to people that will then take our private information and turn it against us. We would avoid helping people that at the end of the day will not even say thank you. We will avoid going to bed with the enemy. We would avoid spending our energetic time with people. Oh, yeah. Are you following me here? Are you following me on this late night? Are you following me? All this due to the fact that we accept the unconfirmed. Point number one, we don't ask the right questions. And because we don't ask the right questions, our discernment is turned off. And when our discernment is turned off, we can't protect ourselves because we make bad choices. Hear me out. And then what happens, a lot of people that keeps allowing, a lot of you all that keeps allowing people into your life, and you keep allowing people into your life in and out. And she hurt me, and he cheated on me, and this one backstabbed me, and that one lied to me, and this one did this to me, and that one did that to me. There comes a point, my beloved soul family, that you got to question yourself. There comes a point, if you have an encyclopedia thick rap sheet on the amount of people that have betrayed you, lied to you, abused you, used you, you name it, then you're the one that needs to start questioning yourself. You're the one that needs to start questioning yourself. Because you're doing something that is allowing all these people into your life. And I would dare say that it starts with you accepting the unconfirmed. He's so nice. He's so this. She's so that. You don't even know them from a fly in the wall, but you speak about them as if you've been with them your whole entire life. That in itself is an issue that can only bring heartache, trauma, drama, issues that hurt you in the long run. And then what happens is, because your discernment is turned off, and a lot of it, and I don't want to go off topic here, but a lot of it also has to do with your own trajectory of bad experiences. And therefore, you keep manifesting the same kind of person because you haven't healed the situation. I'm going to do another video later on about healing. Because until we heal, which is the topic of that message that I want to speak to you all about at another time, unless we heal, we can't grow. We just can't. But I'm not going to go into that right now. So the consequences is, listen, and this is coming to me right now. You cannot continue to go back to the people that you keep throwing away when the abuser does you dirty. Okay? When the abuser does you dirty. Oh, thank you, LA Soul, for those badges. I appreciate you. Thank you. When your abuser traumatizes you, you got to stop going back to people that you never even appreciated to begin with. You got to stop going back. You can't go back to the person or the people you keep stepping away from. Okay? You can't go back to the people you keep stepping away from when you get when you get emotionally murdered. Okay? When you get emotionally murdered by the narcissistic a-hole that couldn't treat you right. Did you hear me? That's an issue. When your discernment is turned off, and when you accept the unconfirmed, you can't see through people. You can't accept them for who they really are. Because there comes a point, my dear soul family, that you got to start to ask yourself, as Spirit says right now, I can hear Spirit in my ear says, why didn't you figure out early on? Not years later, not 6 months later, not 5 years later. No. Why didn't you figure out this person was crazy to begin with? Okay? Why couldn't you figure out that this person was unreliable? Why couldn't you figure out this person was untrusting? Why couldn't you figure out this person was a traitor? Why couldn't you figure out this person was unfaithful, not dependable? Why couldn't you figure out this person was lazy? Why couldn't you figure out this person? Some of you have issues with a partner because it's always don't box this message in. Do not box this message in. This is not just about the cheater and the betrayer. Some of you are in relationship with people that you end up, they might be good human beings, but you totally dislike their characteristics. You totally dislike their characteristics. Maybe you believe, maybe it aggravates the heck out of you that this person is, I don't know, completely 100% lazy. You feel that they have no passion for life. You feel that they lack that zest. They lack that drive. They lack that passion for life. You feel that this person is completely lazy. But the question is, why? What took you so long to see this? Why did you wait so long to acknowledge and recognize that this was a flaw that was always present since day number one? Why couldn't you see that this person was never dependable? Why couldn't you see early on that this person was manipulative? Why couldn't you see early on that this person was verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, mental abusive? Why couldn't you see early on that this person was a career criminal? You mean to tell me that you were dating or getting to know someone that's a career criminal, but you didn't find out they were a career criminal until 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later? Bullshit. Bullshit. It does not work like that. Okay? Why couldn't you figure out that this person was a compulsive liar? Could it be because you accept the unconfirmed? How so? By number one, not asking the right questions. Not being observant of that person. Okay? Not being observing of that person. Not really taking notes of their characteristics and their behaviors and the way they go about things and how they do things. Because the emotions and the excitement was clouding your judgment, and discernment went out the window. Second point to this. We have to be willing to safely, because some people can go way overboard, right? There's extremes in every single situation, but that's not what we're talking about here. You have to be willing to test people. Not in a unhealthy kind of way. Because we don't want to be testing people because we come from a place of I don't trust nobody, I don't believe in nobody, and and you're always thinking that there's something going on. No. That's unhealthy, and you need to just go seek help for that. We have to be willing to test people before we open ourselves up and put ourselves in a very vulnerable state. We have to be willing to test people. That's the evidence aspect of it. If you're just joining us now, you're going to have to watch this from the beginning. That's the evidence aspect, right? Remember, we spoke earlier about evidence. We spoke about the definition of confirmation. And evidence is needed in order to confirm something. So in order to confirm something, we need to ask the right questions. In order to feel safe, we have to test. Because unless you test what you think you see, unless you test what you think you see, you put yourself in danger zone. You got to put it to the test. Because you hear him say and do, or hear or see him do the right things. Because you hear her say the right things does not mean that they walk by what they say. Because you see him, and hear him do great things doesn't mean that they're not messed up and screwed up in the head. Come on now. It's very important. It's very important to understand this. That's why we need confirmation, and confirmation can only come by way of asking the right questions, and the right questions can only be confirmed when we test those things that we see, so we don't make assumptions. Do you hear me? Does anyone hear me? It's very important. It is said, I've always used to say this, and if I'm honest with you right now, 100%, I can't remember if I started saying this years ago because I might have learned this from another elder or heard it from someone else, or if this is just one of my many downloads in my brain that I hold on for many years. And one of those is that when we are seduced, hear me out, when we are seduced, our senses are desensitized. When we are seduced, our senses are desensitized and they are drunken. It's almost like drinking on an empty stomach, and you can't really make sense of anything. When we are seduced, hear me out, my soul family. I'm giving it to you straight tonight. When we are seduced, our senses are desensitized and they are drunken. It's like being drunk. That's why the power of discernment is so important in any given scenario. Spirit says to you, if whoever needs to hear this message, it's more on the romantic aspect of your life, hear what I'm about to say as it's coming to me in this moment. You have been dating people with your discernment, with the power of discernment turned off. You've been dating people by accepting the unconfirmed. You've been dating people without asking the right questions. But let me tell you something. You date the person, but who we really need to date is not the person. Hear me out. Hear me. I'm about to lay a bomb in your heart. We need to stop dating people. We need to start dating their spirit. Do you hear me? We need to stop dating people. A lot of aches and pains and traumas and drama comes about because you're dating people, but you're not dating their spirit. And if you were to date the person's spirit, there's something about a person's spirit that no matter how much facade, no matter what kind of an act they put up, no matter how narcissistic they are, even the best of narcissistic individuals out there, they would not be able to run one by you if you were to start dating the person's spirit. Because the person's spirit never lies. Or how do we even date a person's spirit? I know that sounds so nice and it sounds so great, but doesn't even make any damn sense. Yes, it does. Yes, it does make sense. Trust me, it does. We date a person's spirit when we don't let all the folklore, when we don't let all the glittery, when we don't let all the ha ha ha, and he's so funny and he's so sexy and he has a great job and he drives a Lamborghini, a Mercedes, a BMW, and he dresses so nice. When we do not allow any of these things impress, and we start to look at a deeper level, we start to look at what's behind the car. We start to look at what's behind the clothes. We start to look at what's behind the smile. We try to look at what's behind the funny moments. We start to really keep notes and test and ask the right questions. That's how we start to date their spirit, because the truth of who they are would always show up. That means that we would stop trying to turn people into what we want them to be. And we stop assuming that they will become who we need them to be. Listen to me tonight, my soul family. Listen to me. So that we can avoid a hard, rude awakening. It's very important. Instead of dating this person, date their spirit. Because when you date the person's spirit, something in your inner spirit will either give you a check, or it will give you a red flag, a red sign. It would give you a red flag, a red sign that says, the package looks great, but the content is dirty. The contents are not clear. They're not clear. And trust me, this happens even in religious houses too. This happens again in every single level of our lives. This happens in religious houses too. If you're an Afro-Cuban, Lukumi, or Orisha tradition, Lord, baby, Black Jesus, this happened in Orisha's houses too. Okay? And this is because, they look like great spiritual leaders. They look like great madrinas. They look like great padrinos. They look like great babalawos. They look like great tatas. They look like great... But when you start to collect the data, you would actually see that they're walking demons. Okay? You would get to see that they're actually walking demons. Why? Because you accepted the unconfirmed. That's why people get scammed. That's why people get used. That's why people get re-traumatized. That's why people just get lied to from left to right. Because we stand by something that hasn't been confirmed. Hear me out. You want to hear something else? We accept the unconfirmed is the message of tonight. And Spirit says, when they say, whoever they are, a friend, a best friend, a so-called best friend, a potential boyfriend, a potential girlfriend, your future wife, your future husband, they say, I love you. They say, I love you. And you be thinking, hear me out, open your ears, get a little closer. You think that when they say I love you, that it means the same as to when you say, I love you. It don't. It does not. Don't get it twisted. It does not. Because the truth of the matter, my soul family, the truth of the matter is, guess what? Anyone can say I love you. Anyone can say I love you. Narcissists can say I love you. Predators can say I love you. Okay? Liars can say I love you. Habitual cheaters can say I love you. Okay? All kinds of people can say I love you, and it doesn't really mean they love you. Not the same way when you say I love you, but you accept the unconfirmed. How about the sometimes what you think is I love you? If we were to really break it down to the bone, when you hear I love you from certain peoples, certain kinds of people, what you really are hearing is I love you as long as you do what I want you to do. I love you as long as you are under my control. I love you as long as you don't see right through me. I love you as long as I can use you. I love you as long as you are beneficial to my plan. Okay? So just because someone says, I love you, don't get it twisted. Many of you who get it twisted is because in your soul, you've been needy of love for such a long time. You've been needy of someone being able to really tell you, I love you. Because mama didn't tell you I love you. Because daddy wasn't even around to say I love you. So therefore, don't confuse the words for something that is not, based on something that you accept with no confirmation. Okay? You know, there were many times in my life when there have been many times in my life when I have accepted the unconfirmed, because I thought growing up that the people that I would encounter in my early adult life would be of the same caliber and quality of the people whose many stories I heard in the mouths of elders. And when I started walking my spiritual path, my religious spiritual path, I started through a lot of hardships. I started seeing that the quality of people had changed, and they weren't of the same caliber of those in my parents' time, in my godparents' time, in my grandparents' time. They weren't the same. So I assumed that because we all belonged to the same club that we were all the same, and we were not. And you get to really discover this the hard way when people start to show you one side in front of you, but then behind you there's just something else. So we got to stop taking things at face value, and we have to stop accepting the unconfirmed, and we have to be willing to ask the right questions. The right questions. Okay? Hell, you can't even believe. I know you're not gonna like this. I know you're not gonna like this. But you can't even believe that the son and the daughter that you're raising with all of your heart, the son and the daughter that you have given so much to, the son and the daughter that you have sacrificed so much for, will be there for you when you're 80 years old. You cannot even confirm that. Okay? You can't even confirm that. In that particular case, all you can do is do your best. and continue loving your best. But for the rest of the population, for the rest of the people out there, okay, for the rest of the people out there, for the rest of the world, I invite you, my soul family, to take a step forward in avoiding more suffering in your life by you stopping to stop accepting the unconfirmed. But in order for something to be confirmed, there needs to be evidence. If you have no evidence of who they are and what they say, if you have no evidence of what they look like, you can't put your hands on fire over it. You can't really testify on it as if you know it to be true. This is why you keep suffering. This is why you keep hurting. This is why you keep putting yourself in this failure situation on top of another failed situation. You can't continue navigating the rest of this year like this. Too much of your heart, too much of your emotions are at risk. Heck, I would even say too much of your sanity is at risk as well. So take a step into being able to say, you know what, this feels good, it looks good, she looks good, he looks good, but let me not get too excited here. Let me just take it one step at a time. And let me gather my evidence. Let me gather my evidence. So that as I gather my evidence, this person starts to earn. That's a whole other topic. As I start to gather my evidence, this person starts to earn my trust. This person starts to earn their way into me. Do you hear me? Stop accepting the unconfirmed. And I don't remember if I said it already, but I'm going to say it now. We also accept the unconfirmed when we believe that we have the power to change somebody. Some people disagree. And, I respect everyone's opinion. But let me tell you something. I am of the belief that we can't change anyone. We can't. I can only change you when you are willing to change. If you are not open to change, if you're not willing for there to be a change, no matter who I am, no matter what I do, no matter what I know, no matter what I deliver, no matter how I deliver it, no matter what kind, it does not matter. In order for there to be a change, the person needs to be willing and open to change. This goes to the many, many, many of you that consciously you know that person is trouble. But then yet, you allow yourself to believe that when they get to know you, when you start to share certain things, and when they get to see who you are, they will change because you think you will get them to change. No, you won't. They will only change if they are willing, open, and ready to change. Hell, this is how a lot of people marry into hell. Okay? This is how a lot of people marry into hell. People change when they are open, willing, and ready to change. We can change them. We can change them. That's another way you accept the unconfirmed, because you think that you have the power to change them. And some of you have been waiting years for somebody to change. Some of you have waiting years for that person to be differently. Some of you have been waiting years for that person to act right, and they haven't done so yet. No matter how much you've done, no matter how much you've sacrificed yourself, no matter how much of your youth you gave away into the hands of this person. They weren't ready to change. They haven't been ready to change, because the change has to be for them. It can't be for you. It can't be for you. So you cannot put yourself in a place where you think you're going to change someone if they're not ready to change. This is almost like these shows that you see on TV about intervention and what have you. I don't care how much you love them. Intervention does not work unless that person is ready to change. How many people haven't left? How many people haven't left rehabs? Okay. How many people have not walked out of rehabs? They weren't ready. They weren't ready. Stop assuming that you will change them. Stop assuming that they will become who you want them to be. Because some of you, are you ready for this? And that's it. I'm logging off. I've been here long enough. Some of you are in love with the potential. Some of you are in love with a person's potential. Some of you are banking on a person's potential. Some of you are investing your energy, your love, your vibration, your spirit. Some of you are making huge investments into a person's potential. But I need you to understand that potential is not a promise. Oh, come on now. Potential is not a promise. Some of you married somebody that you knew that weren't any good for you because you saw the good in them, because you saw their potential. Their potential is not a promise. Come on. Woo, Lord. I'm saying it better than you all shouting. I'm saying it better than you all are shouting. You are in love and you're banking on a person's potential. But a person's potential is not a promise. A person's potential is not a promise. You know how many people don't I know with great, great potentials? And 20 and 30 and 40 years down, they're still in the same place. They're still doing the same thing. They still haven't seen the light of day. They still have not tapped into their best, highest self. They still have not aligned with their own potential. This is a major, major problem with empaths. If you are a true empath, you tend to be able to see, especially if you're spiritual, okay? You see the person's potential. Oh my God, he can be so great. She can be so great. If they would just do this, if they would just do that, if they would just change here, if they would just change this. And some of you have been waiting years for them to see it. Some of you have been waiting years for them to see their own potential. There are many people who we can see their potential, and then yet they cannot see their own potential. They cannot see it for themselves, but then yet you're waiting. You're waiting for them to tap in. You're waiting for them to connect. You're waiting for them to man up. You're waiting for them to because you saw something in them that they couldn't see for themselves, and you fell in love with their potential, but the potential wasn't a promise. Their potential was not a promise. And you sacrificed yourself for way too long. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. I ask Spirit tonight. I ask Spirit tonight to let you see. Let you see right through people. Let you be able to see right through people for who they really are, not for what you want them to be. It is my deepest and most profound and sincere prayer tonight as we get ready to log off here, that you're able to see each and every individual in your life for whom they really are, not for what you would like them to be. May you be able to be free from people, Spirit, whomever this message is for whomever needs this message the most. May Spirit touch you in a way that when you awake tomorrow morning, you're able to see things for what they really are, not for what you want them to be. May you be able to release yourself from places and people that have no true intention of aligning with you. May you be set free from individuals in your life that have no true desire to change. May you be set free from places and people that will not promote you. May you be free from individuals that are only around you because they need something of you. May you be set free from individuals that you yet have no confirmation on who they are, so that you may not continue to waste your time, energy, life. May all the deposits that you make in your life be ones that are true promises. May you not be side blinded by potentials. May you really be in alignment, not with potential, but with promises. Let the promises come through. The promise of your happiness, the promise of your growth and prosperity and abundance, the promise of your peace of mind, the promise of your physical health, the promise of your sanity, the promise of you being able to be the best version of yourself. May anything and anyone that is standing in the way of the promise that Spirit, the Most High, has already signed off on in your life, may anything and anyone that blocks it be removed. May it be removed. May it be removed. Even, you don't want to hear this, but I have to say it anyway. May it be removed even when the lower level vibration in you feels like you can't live without that person. May it be removed even if you can't see how much harm they actually bring into your life. We have to stop making investments in potentials. We must start going in pursuit of promises, not potentials. I've known people that have lived their whole entire life, all the way to their deathbed, with great potentials, but they haven't manifested it. Let you not be tricked by potentials. Let you be able to walk into promises. And as of this night on, if this message was for you tonight, may you stop accepting the unconfirmed. Ask the right questions. Don't be afraid of asking the right questions. Gather your evidence. Test it. And let that person earn you. Let them earn you. Over and out. Please share this video. Share it. Share it. So that you can also contribute to making a difference in someone else's life. This is Spiritual Dr. Alfie. If you have not added yourself to my page, add yourself to my page. If you have not joined my text line so we can stay in contact, send a text message that says Soul Family to 833-749-2069 so that we can stay in contact. Okay? Much love to each and every one of you. Over and out.